There's an interview that was never published. February 18th, 1994. Kurt Cobain's last formal interview. A journalist from a European magazine, meeting in a New York hotel. Standard setup, publicist present, tape recorder on the table. Questions prepared, answers expected. Routine, professional, safe. But 40 minutes into the conversation, the journalist goes off script, asks something real, something personal, something that cuts through all the media training and rehearsed responses. What's your biggest regret? Kurt freezes. Not the performative freeze of someone stalling for time. Real freeze. Like the question hit him physically. Like somebody just opened a door he'd been keeping locked. The publicist jumps in.
We don't need to answer that.
Kurt waves her off, says he wants to answer. But he doesn't answer right away. Just sits there, thinking, processing. The silence stretches. Uncomfortable silence. The kind that makes everyone in the room shift and look away. Finally, Kurt speaks. His voice is different, quieter. No performance, no armor, just raw honesty. He talks for less than a minute, 45 seconds. But what he says rewrites everything people thought they knew about him, about his music, about his choices, about his pain. When he finishes, nobody speaks. The journalist is crying. The publicist is staring at the floor. Kurt asks for the tape to be destroyed. They refuse. He gets up and leaves, never completes the interview. 2 months later, he's gone. That tape still exists somewhere, and this is the story of what's on it. New York City, February 18th, 1994, Friday afternoon. The Royalton Hotel, Midtown Manhattan. Philippe Starck design. Minimalist, expensive. The kind of place where rock stars do interviews, where image matters, where everything is curated, controlled, perfect. Room 812, junior suite. Living area separated from bedroom. Neutral colors, modern furniture. Large windows overlooking 44th Street. City noise muted by thick glass. Insulated, quiet, private. 3 people in the room. Kurt Cobain sits on gray sofa, black jeans, oversized cardigan, unwashed hair. He looks tired. Not just tired, exhausted. The kind of exhaustion that lives in bones, in soul, beyond sleep, beyond rest. Across from him sits Michel Arnaud, French journalist, early 40s, works for Les Inrecuptibles, French music magazine, respected, serious, not tabloid, not gossip, real journalism, real questions. Or supposed to be. Third person is Janet Morrison, Kurt's publicist, Geffen Records, late 30s, professional, efficient, guard dog. Her job is protect Kurt, protect the image, protect the message, make sure nothing goes wrong. Tape recorder sits on coffee table between them, red light glowing, recording, capturing everything. 2 cassettes. Backup. Professional standard. They've been talking for 40 minutes. Standard questions, standard answers. The new album, the tour, influences, process. Kurt gives textbook responses. Polite, minimal, distant. He's done this 1,000 times, knows exactly what to say, exactly what not to say, exactly how to sound interesting while revealing nothing. Michel senses this, senses the wall, the performance, the carefully constructed responses designed to give appearance of access while maintaining complete distance. He's frustrated. This interview is boring. Kurt Cobain is boring. Not because Kurt is boring, because Kurt is being careful, being safe, being protected. Michel decides to change approach. Stop being professional journalist Start being human being. Ask something real, something that might get real answer. He looks at his notebook, at the prepared questions remaining. Ignores them. Looks at Kurt. Really looks. Sees exhaustion. Sees pain. Sees someone trapped. Someone performing. Someone desperate for something he can't name. Michelle asks the question. Doesn't plan it, just asks. What's your biggest regret? The room changes. Immediate, palpable. Energy shifts. Janet's head snaps up. Alert. Danger. That question wasn't approved, wasn't discussed, wasn't safe. Kurt stops mid-sip of water, glass frozen halfway to mouth. He lowers it slowly, sets it on table. Doesn't speak, just stares at Michelle, trying to decide. Is this trap? Is this genuine? Is this person actually asking or just fishing for headline? Silence. 5 seconds. 10. 15. Janet shifts forward, about to intervene, about to redirect, about to protect. We don't need to answer that, she says. Professional voice. Firm. Polite. Final. Kurt holds up one hand. Doesn't look at her. Still looking at Michelle. Making decision. No, it's okay. I want to answer. Janet tenses. This is dangerous. Uncontrolled. Could go anywhere. Could reveal anything. Could create problems. Headlines. Damage. Her job is to prevent this. But Kurt just overrode her. Nothing she can do. Just wait. Hope. Prepare for damage control. Kurt sits back, looks at his hands, picks at cuticle, nervous habit, thinking habit, processing habit. The silence stretches. 20 seconds. 30. 40. Michelle doesn't push, doesn't fill silence, just waits, gives space. This is real moment. Real answer coming. Let it come naturally. Minute of silence. Longest minute of Janet's life. She's calculating, thinking, planning. How to minimize whatever comes next. Kurt's eyes are wet. Not crying, just wet. Emotion rising, breaking surface. He takes breath. Deep breath. Centering breath. Courage breath. Speaks. Voice quiet. Soft. Different voice than interview voice. Real voice. Unguarded voice. Vulnerable voice. My biggest regret is that I taught people to hate themselves. Silence. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Janet's face goes pale. Michelle's pen stops moving. Both processing, understanding, implications crashing down. Kurt continues, not looking at either of them, looking at nothing, looking inward, speaking truth he's never spoken aloud. I wrote songs about feeling worthless, about hating yourself, about wanting to die. And millions of people heard those songs and felt seen, felt understood, felt like someone finally got it. And I thought that was good. I thought that was connection. I thought that was art. His voice cracks, catches, he pushes through. But what I actually did was give permission. Permission to stay in the dark, permission to wallow, permission to make suffering an identity instead of something to survive. Tears now, streaming, not sobbing, just releasing. Truth hurts. Speaking it hurts. Knowing it hurts. I get letters every day. Kids telling me my music saved their lives. Telling me they don't feel alone anymore. Telling me I understand them. And I read those letters and I feel sick. Because I didn't save anyone. I just made them comfortable in their misery. I made suffering cool. I made depression an aesthetic. And now there's a generation of kids who think feeling broken is the same as being deep. He wipes his face, smearing tears, not caring. Past caring. Past image, past protection. Just speaking. Just releasing, just confessing. I wrote, "I hate myself and I want to die," as a joke. Dark humor, sarcasm. But people took it seriously, made it a mantra, made it a lifestyle. And I never corrected them. Never said, "No, that's not the point." The point is to survive the hate, to overcome the want to die, not to embrace it. His hands shake, trembling, not from cold, from emotion, from weight, from guilt. I'm 27 years old, and I've spent 10 years telling people it's okay to hate yourself, that it's normal, that everyone feels this way. And maybe everyone does feel this way sometimes. But I made people feel like they should stay there, like leaving the darkness is selling out, like healing is betrayal. Janet wants to stop this, wants to press stop on the tape recorder, wants to make this disappear. But she can't move. Frozen, witnessing, understanding this is important, this is real, this matters. I regret every song that made someone think suffering is noble, that pain is poetry, that being broken is being authentic. I regret creating art that people consumed instead of confronting. I regret building a career on depression without ever saying, "But you can get better, but you should get help, but you deserve to heal." He looks up, directly at Michelle. Eye contact, intense, desperate, pleading. I regret that when I'm gone, people will use my music to justify staying in pain. They'll say, "Kurt Cobain understood me," and they'll mean, "Kurt Cobain gave me permission to give up." And I can't fix that. I can't undo it. It's out there. It's done. Millions of copies, millions of listeners, millions of people who think I was speaking truth when I was really just screaming into void. 45 seconds. That's all it takes. 45 seconds to dismantle everything, to reveal the guilt, the regret, the weight he's been carrying, the knowledge that his art might have hurt more than helped. Silence crashes back. Heavy silence. Thick silence. Nobody knows what to say, how to respond, where to go from here. Michelle's hands shake, writing forgotten, just sitting, absorbing, processing. This is the most honest thing he's ever heard, from anyone, ever. Janet stares at floor, mind racing. This can't be published, can't be released, would destroy everything, would complicate legacy, would create chaos. Has to be contained, has to be controlled, has to be stopped. Kurt sits back, exhausted, empty, like confession drained something vital, like speaking truth cost energy he didn't have to spare, but lighter too, unburdened, free, even if just for a moment. Michelle speaks, first words in minutes, voice shaking. "Thank you for trusting me with that." Kurt nods, doesn't speak, can't speak, said everything, nothing left. Janet finds her voice, professional voice, controlled voice, damage control voice. That was off the record. Michelle looks at her, then at tape recorder. Red lights still glowing, still recording, still capturing. The tape was running. It doesn't matter. That was personal. That wasn't for publication. Kurt speaks, quiet, final. "Give me the tape." Michelle hesitates. This is history. This is important. This needs to be heard. This matters. "Kurt, people need to hear this." "Give me the tape." This could help people. This could change how they understand. Give me the fucking tape. Loud, angry, desperate, final. Michelle doesn't move. Can't. Won't. This is too important, too real, too necessary. Kurt stands, angry, really angry. Not performance anger, real anger, violated anger, betrayed anger. I trusted you. I answered honestly, and now you want to use it, package it, sell it, make it content? I want people to understand. Nobody will understand. They'll take 45 seconds and make it a headline, make it controversy, make it another reason to analyze me instead of listening to me. I said what I regret. Now I'm regretting saying it. He walks to the door, opens it, looks back. Destroy the tape or publish it, your choice. But if you publish it, you're proving me right. You're consuming my pain instead of respecting it. You're making my regret another piece of Kurt Cobain mythology instead of treating it like human confession. He leaves, door closing, gone. Janet moves immediately, grabs tape recorder, ejects tape, both tapes, puts them in her bag. Those don't leave this room. Michelle protests. His interview, his tape, his story. We had agreement, cooperation, access. You can't just take, watch me. She leaves. Tape secure. Crisis contained. Disaster averted. Michelle sits alone. Hotel room quiet. Empty. But mind full, replaying Kurt's words, understanding, processing, believing. He had backup. Digital recorder, hidden. Insurance, every journalist's secret. But he doesn't use it. Doesn't transcribe it. Doesn't publish it. Because Kurt was right. Publishing would be consuming. Would be exploiting. Would be proving every word Kurt said about how art gets used, gets weaponized, gets turned into content. So Michelle keeps it. Locks it away. Private archive. Not for publication, not for sale, not for anyone. Just for him. Reminder of honest moment, real moment, human moment. Reminder that sometimes story isn't meant to be told. Sometimes confession is meant to stay confession. Sometimes the most important words are the ones kept private. He sits in that hotel room for another hour, staring at the hidden recorder. Small device, palm-sized, contains 45 seconds that could define his career, could make him famous, could get him book deals, documentary contracts, speaking engagements, everything a journalist dreams of, all locked in this tiny device. He picks it up, holds it, feels the weight. Not physical weight, moral weight, ethical weight, the weight of choice. Publish and betray, or protect and honor, fame or integrity, career or conscience. Michelle thinks about Kurt's face, the tears, the trembling hands, the vulnerability, the trust. Kurt didn't have to answer. Could have deflected, could have joked, could have stayed safe behind the wall every celebrity builds. But he chose honesty, chose to trust, chose to be human instead of icon. And Michelle's response to that trust will define him, not as journalist, as human. What kind of person consumes someone's pain for profit? What kind of person weaponizes vulnerability for views? What kind of person treats confession as content? He makes decision, right there, final, permanent, irreversible. He opens the recorder, removes the tape, small cassette, contains everything. He looks at it, last look, last chance. Then he pulls the tape out, Yards of magnetic tape spooling onto the floor, tangling, ruining, destroying. He doesn't stop until it's completely unspooled, completely destroyed, completely gone. No way to recover it. No way to change his mind later. No way to betray Kurt, even if you wanted to. Relief washes over him. Made right choice. Hard choice. Costly choice. But right choice. Some things matter more than story, more than career, more than fame. Trust matters. Integrity matters. Humanity matters. 2 months later, April 5th, 1994. Kurt is dead. Michelle's phone rings constantly. Every publication wants interview, wants any Kurt content, wants last words, last thoughts, last anything. Michelle says no, every time. Has nothing to share, nothing to sell, nothing to publish. Colleagues think he's crazy. Sitting on last Kurt Cobain interview, refusing to release it, leaving money on table, leaving career opportunity untouched. Why? Because Kurt asked. Because trust matters. Because some things are more important than story, than career, than money. Some things are sacred. This is one of them. One colleague confronts him, senior editor, mentor, someone Michelle respects, pushes hard, says Michelle has responsibility to history, to truth, to Kurt's legacy. Says hiding the interview is doing disservice. Says people deserve to know. Michelle listens, considers, then responds simply. Kurt said his biggest regret was teaching people to hate themselves. If I publish that, people will either romanticize his regret or use it against him. Either way, I'm participating in exactly what he regretted. I'm turning his pain into content, his confession into commodity. I won't do that. I can't. The editor doesn't understand, keeps pushing, offers money, offers promotion, offers everything. Michelle refuses. Every time. Promise is promise, trust is trust, honor is honor. Years pass, decades pass. Michelle never publishes, never transcribes, never shares, keeps promise, honors trust, protects confession. Other journalists ask, researchers ask, biographers ask, documentarians ask. Everyone wants that tape. Everyone wants those words. Everyone wants to know what Kurt's biggest regret was. Michelle tells them all the same thing. It was personal. It was private. It stays private. Some call him fool. Some call him coward. Some call him gatekeeper. He doesn't care. He made choice, honored request, kept faith. That matters more than anything else. The tape still exists, locked away, private collection, unmarked, unshared, unknown except to 2 people. Michelle, who recorded it, Janet, who tried to destroy it but couldn't. Both sworn to secrecy, both keeping promise, both protecting Kurt. Even after death, especially after death. Because Kurt was right. People would consume it, would use it, would turn regret into analysis, confession into content, human moment into mythology. Better to let it stay unknown, stay private, stay protected. Sometimes the most important stories are the ones never told. Sometimes the most powerful words are the ones kept silent. Sometimes the greatest act of journalism is knowing when not to publish. That tape sits in vault, will stay there, should stay there. Not everything needs to be public. Not everything needs to be known. Some things deserve privacy. Some confessions deserve protection. Some regrets deserve to stay personal. Kurt Cobain's biggest regret remains his. Private, protected, unknown, exactly as he asked, exactly as he deserved. And that's how it should stay.
Some stories don't end when the music fades. They stay with us, quietly. If this story meant something to you, join our community, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Where are you watching from? Which city? Which part of the world? We read every comment.